In this lecture, we will give a brief introduction to derivatives. From the name itself, derivatives sound like they're derived from something. That is indeed very much true. The value of a derivative is derived from value of another asset, which is known as the underlying asset or just the underlying. The underlying asset could be shares, bonds, interest rate, currency, or even commodities like gold or oil. When the price of underlying changes, the value of the derivative also changes. For example, the value of a derivative derived from a particular share changes with the change in the share price. A derivative is a formal contract between two parties, buyer and seller. The derivatives are always traded with future maturity and are settled in future. The derivatives specify the conditions under which the payments are made between two parties. So, putting it all in one statement, a derivative is defined as a security or a contract which promises to make a payment at a specified time in future, whose amount depends upon the behavior of some underlying security up to and including the time of the payment. So, the change in the price of the underlying after the expiry of the contract does not affect the value of the derivative. That's quite obvious, isn't it? Let's look at the types of derivatives now. There are four main types of derivatives: forward, futures, options, and swaps. In a forward contract, two parties are involved. One is a buyer and the other is a seller. Now you may wonder, why is it called a forward contract? It is because the transaction takes place at a forward date. Even though the terms of the transaction are decided now, the asset that will be traded, the price of the asset, the amount of the asset that will be traded, and the date at which the transaction will take place will be decided now. But the real transaction will take place at a specified date in future. So a forward contract is defined as a formal contract in which one party commits to buy and the other party commits to sell a specified quantity of agreed asset for a predetermined price at a specific date in future. We will understand it better with the help of an example. Consider a firm ABC Limited manufacturing potato chips. The price of the main raw material, that is a potato, is not a constant. It varies depending upon several factors. It is expected that 6 months from now there will be a bad harvest for potatoes, leading to lower supplies. Farmer Z is an experienced farmer and has dealt with such situations in the past. He has taken all the necessary precautionary measures to ensure production of at least 2 quintals of potatoes. ABC approaches Farmer Z and offers to purchase 1 quintal of potatoes at a price of 15 per kg after 6 months. Farmer Z accepts the contract and a forward contract between ABC and Farmer Z is established. Now, regardless of what the price of the commodity, that is, regardless of what the price of potato will be after 6 months, Farmer Z will sell 1 quintal of potatoes to ABC Limited at a price of 15 per kg. If the prediction of bad harvest turns out to be true, then there'll be low supply and high demand, and therefore it will lead to an increase in the price of potatoes to, let's say, 20 rupees per kg. In this case, ABC Limited has made a good deal and the farmer is at a loss. But instead, if it was a good harvest, the prices can even go down to 10 per kg because of excess supply. In this case, the farmer is at a better position by entering into a forward contract. Next type of a derivative is a future derivative. A future contract is a legal agreement that obliges the buyer to purchase the asset and obliges the seller to sell that asset at a predetermined future price and date. But wait, doesn't this sound familiar? Isn't this how a forward contract works? The difference lies in the fact that a future is a standardized forward contract and hence can be traded on an exchange, whereas a forward is a customized contract. It can be tailored to a specific commodity, amount, and delivery date, and is not traded on an exchange. The previous example can be a future contract too. Potato futures are trading in the market, and with the news of heavy rainfall, the potato futures with an expiry of 6 months can be purchased by ABC at its current price of, let's say, 1000 per contract. Each contract promises 1 quintal. If it really rains, then the potato future contracts will become expensive and will be trading at 2000 per contract. In this case, ABC will make a gain of rupees 1000 per contract. However, if the rainfall prediction is wrong, and with the improved production of potato, the prices can even go down to 500 per contract. In that case, ABC will make a loss of 500 per contract. Now, if we wanted to have an option of not exercising the contract when the prices went down to 500 per contract, then we should have gone long on a call option. For you to understand what I meant by the last statement, you must understand options and the types of options. By definition, option gives an investor the right but not the obligation to buy or sell an asset on a specified future date. The holder of the option, that is the one who purchases the option, has the right to trade, but it is not obliged to trade. That is, if it is profitable to exercise the option, he will exercise it. But if it is not profitable, then he has the option to not exercise it. But the writer of the option is obliged to trade if the holder wishes to trade. The writer of the option collects some amount which is known as the option premium from the holder for giving him the right to exercise the option. The two basic types of options are call option and put option. A call option gives the right but not the obligation to buy a specified asset for a specified price on a set future date, whereas a put option gives the right but not the obligation to sell a specified asset for a specified price on a set future date. In the example we considered, if ABC Limited had purchased a call option, that is, it went long on a call option, then it would have the right to not exercise the contract at 1000 when they were available at a cheaper price, that is 500 per contract. But being a seller of the option, the farmer Z has to sell the potatoes at rupees 1000 per quintal even when the market price is rupees 2000 per quintal. Whereas on the other hand, if the farmer Z had gone long on a put option, he would have the right to sell potatoes at a rupees of 1000 per quintal even when the market price is rupees 500 per quintal, and ABC Limited would be obliged to pay him 1000 per quintal.